Hi, welcome today. I'm Kimberly and I am from Lessons in a Bubble, and this is Teacher Lessons in a Bubble. Today, we're going to talk about how do you organize IEP meetings to make sure you don't forget things, and the best way that Google Sheets can help you keep them in chronological order to not forget anything at all. I mentor a lot of new teachers, and this channel was started. So as they ask me questions, I can create videos and help you too. That way, if you have a mentor, maybe you don't have to call them all the time with all of the questions because I'll be here to help you out as well. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can see the Google document that I share with my friends. So here we go. Here's your Google document, IEP meeting tracker for teachers. This document has some things that we're going to talk about in case you are new to special education. I'm going to explain kind of all the reasons I have these columns on the Google template. If you stick around to the end or go to the show notes, I will give you a link so that you can get this template yourself for free. The first column, of course, we have a student's name, and then we have the date that their IEP is due. So in California, we have to meet annually. So this is the drop dead date. We have to meet before or on this date to keep the plan active and stay within compliance. So we kind of put these together in order at the beginning of the year based on everybody who's enrolled in this school. And I type them in alphabetically, and I'll show you in a minute how the IEP meeting date then is used to filter so that we can put them in the order that they're going to happen. It makes so much more sense than having a list in alphabetical order, scanning, and possibly skipping somebody. The next column is when do we schedule the IEP meeting? So based on when the meeting's due, the size of the group that you need to get together and the availability that they have, we're going to schedule this meeting at different times. I have sometimes it's one teacher, parents have been at the school for a while, super reliable. Admin can make it, I can make it. And so maybe we do it the day before. I've even had some meetings the day of. But if you have a big team and a lot of people to get together, you might want to back up in case somebody is sick or something happens and they can't make that original date. So we schedule the first week of school, all the meetings for the whole year. That gives teachers plenty of notice, and our calendars are still kind of empty. So it's easy to find commonality between all the service providers and the people that need to attend. So when we schedule a meeting, we go ahead and type those dates in. There's a little at date at the top of these two columns where you see dates. The reason those are there is because I have a thing about typing in dates. So I have to remember, because I also am getting old, how to get my drop down calendar. So when I go in a cell like I am right now on C5, if I type in at date, this little drop down box comes up and I can click on date and a calendar will show up. I find it so much easier to schedule the meetings with the calendar than just typing in the dates. If I know it's on a Thursday and I know it's just faster for me. So I have the little reminder up on row 2. You don't have to have that for sure. You could even delete the row 2 if you wanted, as if you download my template, it's fully editable. So we're going to look at Carolina's date, and today pretend we had a meeting and we decided, okay, it's due March 5th. We're going to go ahead and meet on the Tuesday before, February 22nd. Now that's in there, and it'll update and save it for you. The next column, I type in what type of meeting it's going to be, an annual, a try. If it's an initial, I'll talk about those when we add in the new student, that we'll pretend somebody else qualifies. So Carolina, that's when her meeting date is, that her meeting is an annual. So I'm going to type in annual. You notice above that, I have Jacob's meeting in blue as a try. I'm going to undo that real quick, just so you can kind of follow along if you're not used to using Google. I go up to the little paint bucket and I can say I want that box to be white. And then maybe I want the text to be black, like all the other text. There it shows up. You can change the background color and the text color. A lot of times all I just do highlight the cell in yellow. So it still says black. I keep them yellow because with triennial reports, we have to consider the student's eligibility for special education again. So there's more assessments to happen. My psych sends out assessment plans, but I do have more assessments that I need to do rather than just tracking progress on the IEP goals of the year. So I highlight those. The next column is teacher, and that's the teacher that I plan on having come to the meeting. In my district, we hire a substitute that will go into the general ed teacher so she can come out for the meeting so it can happen in the school day. When we do that, only one teacher comes in person. The rest submit reports ahead of time to kind of be read at the meeting. Who are you going to invite? If you're elementary, there's might only be one classroom teacher. Middle school, there might be more. But if a student only qualified for math, I would probably invite the math teacher. Generally, my middle school, I invite the core teacher because they're with the students twice as long. But you could type more than one teacher name in here if you want. But I go ahead and keep track of who it is that I'm officially inviting, kind of my drop dead person I need to have come along. Services box. I didn't used to track the services boxes, but I was having problems remembering that I'm not the center of the universe and there are other people that help that student. So they qualify for speech and language. I'll type in SLP. If it's just me, it's SAI. If they have occupational therapy. And then the next column ties into that. That's where I type in the email addresses of these other service providers. So if we look at Felix, line 3, I have a speech teacher. Her email would be typed in there. So when I do an electronic invitation, I can just copy and paste it. I often get interrupted and typing really fast and make mistakes. I don't want to send invitations to the wrong emails. So when I type them in here very carefully one time, after that, it's copy and paste and it works out better for me. If I had multiple names fit in. If you go ahead and type it with a comma, exactly how you want it, you can copy paste into your email provider. Uh, the two box. Sorry about that. Um, Row 2, though, if you notice, there's other emails. When I run a meeting, I need to invite my administrator to all of them. I need to invite my school psychologist. She doesn't generally attend all of them, but she likes to know when they happen in case parents call for questions. And I have to invite the secretary so she can reserve the room for me. So the people that get invited all the time to all the meetings, they're in the line 2, and I'll copy and paste those as a little clump into the electronic invitation. So that's why line 2 is there for that. The next one is the column for invitations sent. And you can see like line 2 is spreading over that, but that's okay. If I go there, you can see over here, H2 is really blank. So Felix, I sent the invitation on December 12th. You could turn this into a checkbox. I just typed the date in. In 20 years of doing special education, there's only been a couple times where parents said, I didn't get that. When did you send that? But it's not hard to type that date in real quick. And if you use the at date, you could use a calendar for that as well. The next one is RSVP. So I do track in this Google Sheet when I get the replies back from the parents that they can or cannot attend. So I know what to do next. Under in row 4 with Jacob, I have Zoom typed in. So that would indicate to me the parents said they could come, but they've asked for a Zoom link to attend instead. When I type Zoom on this to remind me, like the day of, that it's a Zoom meeting and I need to get the microphone out so everybody can hear, I will go ahead and go into Zoom, set up that meeting, and go back to my invitation and update it with the Zoom link for the parents or whoever needed to attend my Zoom. But I would do that kind of in the same exact minute I'm typing this in so I don't forget to do it. Parent email, I put those in at the beginning of the year, kind of taking my time, doing it carefully. So if I need to reach out to parents, this is where I go and get it so I can copy and paste. The next one is interpreter. A lot of my students have parents who aren't 100% proficient in English, so they prefer to have an interpreter to help them understand kind of all the jargon that goes with an IEP. So I'll go ahead and include the email address for interpreters as I come across the IEPs and it says what home language. I go to my little district list, I type in that email, and I'll reach out to those people independently to check their schedule and find out what they need to get there. They might need a Zoom link too. And then I have affirmed. So this last column is kind of like you're done with everything, Kim. So if it says yes and signed, it's done. I usually fill this in after I've affirmed it at the online program. I've scanned my signatures. I've uploaded those. I have the paper copy to whatever district files the hard copies need to go to. The parents have their copy. When it's all done, I'll type yes and then signed. We didn't used to affirm IEPs until we had signatures. That's kind of changed. So on this one on Jacob, there's a note that I still need the signature. That means I've kind of got copies ready to go. I'm just waiting to upload that last signature and check off that last box. So that's how the columns are set up and why they are the way they are. But let me show you how it works to keep it in chronological order and keep you organized with your scheduling. So say we get a new student. Who's our new student going to be? Let's see. Think of a name. Wow, having brain block. Let's say it's Brian. So I'm having brain block. And Brian moves into our school at Christmas time, and we find out that he has an IEP due in, say, Valentine's Day just happened. Let's pretend his IEP is due on Valentine's Day. So I'm going to do my date, go here, and I'm going to type that is due on Valentine's Day. I'll call my psychologist. She has access to the admin's calendar during the year, so the admin wouldn't sit in on a meeting for this. They're generally too busy. Call her and we'll find out. We decide that we are going to have the meeting the day before because it's getting kind of late. So I do date, and we're going to have this meeting on February 13th. When I have his new file, I go ahead and type in what type of meeting it is. So we'll say this is an annual meeting, and we will say that he got put in Miss Safina's classroom, and maybe I'm only the service provider. I will fill all this out. We added service providers. So let me just delete out. We're going to pretend I'm the only service provider. Won't need other emails. I'm not sending an invitation yet. So all of this, I'll type in the parent. So this is a family email, their email, whatever that is. You'll look and you'll type in the actual one. The problem is if you just add students as they move in or as they qualify for new services, this list can get out of order chronologically and you could miss somebody. So here's how Google Sheets is going to keep that from happening. You're going to highlight all of your data fields. So let me highlight, being stubborn. I'm going to highlight all of my data fields. Then I'm going to click on column B. So if you notice Brian's down here, he's in the bottom, but his meeting comes before Caro and Rose's, right? So we have him as being the only one with Miss Safina as the teacher. So that's how you can check that this template is going to work. I go hit column B, then I go to data, and I go to sort sheet by column B from A to Z. I click on that and all the data gets moved. And now Brian is in chronological order by the date that his meeting is due. If you get some of them out of order and you would prefer to sort by the date that the meeting is scheduled, you could do that as well. That template will work whether you sort by column B or column C, up to you. But this tool can save you a ton of time. So if you are new to special education, welcome. If you're new to teaching, welcome, welcome as well. The videos, like I said, are made to support the people that I'm mentoring right now, and then all the other teachers that kind of have the same questions. We shouldn't have to repeat conversations when technology has made it that we can share so much information with so many more people and save a lot of time. So thank you for staying to the end of the video. I'm going to stop sharing now. And I want to let you know this video is brought to you by Lessons in a Bubble. I have a website and TPT store, both called Lessons in a Bubble. And this YouTube channel, it's called Teacher Lessons in a Bubble, and it's for you. If you found this valuable, like and subscribe. And if you would like a free copy of this template, go to the link, sign up for the email newsletter. They don't come too often, and I will inbox you your own Google Sheet template to keep track of the IEPs for the rest of the year. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.